Hey friends, welcome back to the another episode. If you are new here, my name is Ronak. On this channel we talk about books, finance, freelance. Today we are going to talk about my favorite apps that I use in my day-to-day life to increase my productivity, to get on the track so I will have a better future. Well, I'm not going to count the social media app like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, because I am in the social media business, content creation business and marketing business. So those apps are obviously I use them. So we are not going to talk about them. Also, this video is not sponsored by any of this app. It's just my own experience and I just feel like you should use this app and you can increase your productivity in your life. The first app I use is TickTick. That's why it's on my home screen. Also, the TickTick is basically your day-to-day life tasks. You can actually create a lot of things here. In the today, if you go there are few things like write every review Friday, then parents birthday, ukulele practice. In the inbox, actually you can create all the things you want to do in day-to-day life. The good thing about this is if you create on the tab and if you just put 5th January, then it will automatically assign with that date, and you can add the reminder also, like high priority, medium priority. You can give the tag also, like the book tag. It's all about the book review, or it is about the video or anything, and you can create that in specific for on that you can go for there. Here also you can work with your team also, like there are tasks for the tomorrow's the digital marketing, which is I use to collaborate with my clients because they also have the TickTick app, and we add day-to-day tasks that we want to do in today also that we can use it. Then there are welcome section, which is not important. If you are new, then you can go through it. Then there is work section, personal section, where you can add your personal things. There is learning section where I'm learning French language, where I'm learning the ukulele. You can actually see in the back. So every day I want to learn few practice, or every day I want to learn the French, or every day I want to do the one lesson. Then I can add that, okay, in today I have to do these tasks. Then there is wish list and birthday. I hardly use the wish list, but I definitely use the birthday also. So this is the good thing about it. You can also create the calendar. You can view the calendar views also. You can go and create the Pomodoro technique, because Pomodoro is something like you can start the stopwatch and it will be like for the 25 minutes. You don't have to touch your phone. So that's called a deep work also. So you can do that here also. You can create the location based like habits. If you want to develop a new habit, then you can create a habit also. That's the reason why this app is my favorite. Like it's cover almost your everything that you required in basic tasks, like your day-to-day tasks. Okay, like I want to learn ukulele, I want to learn French. These are the tasks that I have to do daily if I want to improve my certificate, or if I want to be a pro guitarist or ukulele. So that's the reason I have to practice it daily. TickTick is basically kind of covers all the to-do list in my life. Second app I use is Keep Notes by Google. The reason I love this app, because even if you don't have internet, you can use this app, and it also, whenever the internet is back, you can sign this with your computer, or it gets signed with everything. So the reason I love Google Keep app, because there is so many things, like there are address, there are links, there are my thoughts. Like whenever I'm reading something, I get a small thought and I want to put it somewhere, rather than before optimizing that thought, I just wanted to put it somewhere. So I use the Google Keep, so where you can do a lot of things like newsletter ideas I have, then all the hashtags or whatever I do, I can do it here. Like all the get YouTube ideas, I don't want to forget, you can do it here. It's really good thing. You can create your checklist also. If you are going to the grocery shop or anything you want to buy today, you can directly add here, like I want to shoot a video. Basically you can create a lot of tags here also. That's the good thing about it. You can actually draw a picture also if you want, but I don't usually use this specifically. I use this called Google type, actually voice typing, because before I go to sleep, I get a lot of thoughts, and that's when you can use this. Actually see this, this is currently recording or whatever I'm saying. So that's the reason I love this app. It's just for my very small thoughts whenever I'm reading something, or whenever I want to tweet, or I just get a YouTube idea, then I just put it there. Then that goes to the third app, which is called the Notion app. Third app I use is Notion app, which is definitely incredible app. Here you can create a lot of things. Like you can see that I have my books notes, how to write a book. There is a specifically one person requested me to write something on that. So there is my concept of VC and startup, YouTube ideas, as homework in life. Homework in life, which is my most favorite, which is something I learned from the storyworthy book by the Matthew, I guess. So before you go to the sleep, like you do the journaling, here you have to write the stories, like what are the stories that are the worth sharing with the world, which is something I learned from the storyworthy book, which has definitely helped me to create a lot of stories around me. List of short and sweet books. Then resonance with life, here I create a lot of like the articles I read in day-to-day life, or whatever the good things I read, I just put it here, like building in public, complete psychological guide, cold mail, first principle newsletter, summary of flow, how to learn English, top creative monopoly. So you can actually see that I have added the batches also for everything that is here. And that's the reason why resonance is with life at something that, like when I'm listening to the podcast and I heard about something good and I just wanted to record it somewhere, so in the future I can use it. So that's the reason resonance with app is definitely, resonance with life is definitely helpful. Annual review, where I check all the annual things I want to do this year. Then ideal pipeline, where all the ideas flow, like literally I have get this idea how I can use it, idea that for the YouTube video, or I can tweet about it, or I should make a Instagram post about it, or just to send it to the newsletter. Then documents, where are my personal documents. Then I have personal goals, class note, usually when I go check all the online classes on the Skillshare and everything, then I have to take the notes, so it's a better way to take the notes. Then podcast content, where I record a podcast, you should check the podcast Ronak Shah show on the Spotify. Then there are quick notes also available, which I don't use here, quick notes and task list, because that's I do in the TickTick app and the Keep Notes app, so I don't use here. Reading list, usually all the books that I read, and it's easy to customize everything here. Then roadmap and bank, which is obviously not to use your life, but you can create a lot of things here. The fourth app I use is nothing but the Audible app, because that's something that really important in my life, because I want to finish a lot of books in 2021 or as moving ahead. But how I can finish a lot of books, because I read a lot of books in the non-fiction category on the Kindle or on the mobile or on my Kindle device. But when it comes to fiction books, I really wanted to finish a lot of fiction books, and the easy way to finish fiction books I realized is by listening to the books rather than reading it, because someone is doing hard work, like someone is doing all the hard work that I have to do by sitting taking the book and reading each and every line. So someone is doing that hard work for me. That's the reason the audiobooks are my favorite. One audiobook app I use is nothing but the Audible by Amazon, which is absolutely changed my life. I read almost a lot of fiction books on the Audible, like literally there are few books I reread also, re-listen also, because it's really easy to understand, it's really easy to concept, and it's really easy to imagine when someone is telling you the story, because we learn from the childhood that whenever someone is telling a story, we enjoy a lot, and that same thing happens when you are listening to the audiobooks. So if you want to try Audible, there is a link in the description. You will get 90 days free trial. You can try it and you can understand, or you can finish a lot of books. As we are talking about the audiobooks, the next two apps which is I'm going to combine, which is Spotify, and the next one is Podcast by Google. Specifically I'm talking about the Android, so hopefully all these apps are available on the iOS also, so you can try it. But the reason I love after audiobook the Spotify and the podcast, because I am a big fan of podcast and I'm a big fan of consuming a lot of good content. And obviously it's not like that I don't enjoy. On the Spotify, all the like my music playlist is available, my work playlist is different, my romantic songs playlist is different. Like it's not like that I enjoy life. I love listening songs, and there are few songs I definitely enjoy. Currently I'm listening to the Ek Zindagi, which is my most favorite song right now. And after that I use Google Podcast, because specifically I want to consume a lot of good content, and it's not that you get a chance to meet that person in and you can do the talk rather than someone is doing on that podcast. Like there are few podcasts I will definitely suggest you. One is Naval Ravikant on the Joy Rogan show and the Tim Ferriss show. Then there is a podcast by the Uncut. Also there is Advertising is Dead podcast, which are definitely great. You should definitely try them. So whenever I'm traveling or whenever I'm going out, I just put my headphones and I start listening to either songs or podcasts, depends on my mood. After consuming a lot of content from the Audible, Twitter, social media, then Spotify, Google Podcast, I have to write something there. So I use the specifically Google Keep Note for recording all those things. And after that I want to create content, like whatever I learn. Like I learn something from the financial books, then I want to create reel on it, either want to create YouTube video on it. when you on it, or just images on it. So for the editing in day-to-day life, I use two apps. So first one is Canva app and second one is PicsArt app. Specifically for the big project like designing something big or designing the covers, designing the 7 to 8 Instagram post or Facebook post, I use Canva app, which is absolutely great and just made life easier. Obviously I know how to use Photoshop, how to use Figma, but Canva is becoming much easier when you want to design a few elements only. But I want to go deep down, then I obviously go for the Photoshop. But day-to-day easy task, I use the Canva where I want to design something. And for the story collection, like I want to design something for my stories, because I believe design is something that can change your life. Even I want to design some stories like Instagram stories, I use PicsArt app, which is very easy to use. You can customize a lot of things, add background, create shapes, you can do a lot of things in the PicsArt. So these two apps I use for my editing purpose. Next app I use is Google News, because I want to keep up with the world and it's really short sentences. Obviously there are other apps also, but I prefer Google News because it can customize what you can customize here, whatever you want or whatever topics you love. Like you can type there if you love cryptocurrency and you can follow that. If you love literature, you can type and follow that. If you love YouTube, if you love marketing, like I specifically for the marketing and whatever the client work is doing, I want to get update about that. I want to know what are the new things are coming in that era. So that's the reason I use Google News, which is incredibly great. Last but not the least app I use is nothing but to learn a new language, that is Duolingo, which is great for me, I guess, right now, because I have no idea how to learn French. I wanted to learn French and Esperanto. These two languages I am thinking that I should learn this year, or probably by end of this I should get basic idea about these two languages. So I'm learning these two on the Duolingo app, which is incredibly great. You already seen that in the TickTick app. I already added that daily task. In the daily task list I have the one tab which is called Learn Language or Learn French, which is specifically about this app. This gives me the reminder that I want to open this app and at least 5 to 10 minutes I have to learn it daily. So that's the reason I use this app. None of these apps are sponsored by anyone, it's just my own experience and I feel really good to use them. You can try this also. Let me know which is your favorite app, what apps do you use in your day-to-day life, and what new apps you are going to add after this video. So that's all for the today's video. I hope I will see you in my next video. Bye bye, tata, take care.